Ready to light that fire by doing the things that make you come alive? Welcome to Health Raisers, a podcast for wise women. I'm your host, Dr. Nadine. I left a soul-crushing medical career full of bad news and evolved into a joyful health integration coach, helping hundreds of women find their healthy. You're more than your dress size. Stop putting up with toxic relationships, swallowing your true emotions, and sacrificing your mental health. Stop using your body as a battlefield. You're always giving. You deserve to put yourself first, not just for your sake, but for those you love. Wise women, let's make ourselves a priority right now. It's time to raise some health together. Hello, wise women. Today, my guest is Nancy Griffin. Nancy is CEO and founder of Women, Worth, and Wellness. She considers herself a connector and influencer and attributes her success to personal courage, determination, and joy when focusing on women's health and wellness. Hence, the creation of Women, Worth, and Wellness. Welcome, Nancy. It is a pleasure to have you today.
Thanks so much, Nadine, and thanks so much for getting Women, Worth, and Wellness spoken properly. Often people, they go, what was that again? But well done, Nadine.
It has been a dream of mine to have someone come on to talk about financial well-being, health for women. So that is going to be our subject today. I want to open up by asking you, I know that your inspiration is your mom, but I'd like you to share with our audience what inspired you to do the work that you do.
Well, I was recruited into the wealth advisory business, and I was sorry that I hadn't been there 20 years earlier because it's just a wonderful, wonderful role. You learn all sorts of things about what in the world's going on, but you get a chance to take all of that info and work with individual clients. And so I started in the business in 1992, and you're hired by a company once you've got all your licenses in place. But then right off the bat, you've got to go find your own clients. And you find your own clients because you choose people that you want to work with and people you want to help. If a whole suite of clients are given to you, they may not be your kind of people. So it makes a lot of sense that you got to go find your own tribe, as the saying goes. So I decided to focus on women, not exclusively, but primarily. And that was in the 90s when women were just starting to earn a whole lot more and paying attention to investing. You know, what's this all about? Rather than saving, it's like, I need to invest. And so when you're in the investment business, the first order of business, it's like going to the new doctor. First thing they do is they want to do blood work. Same thing when you have a new client as a wealth advisor. You have to spend a lot of time getting to know who that client is so that you can recommend suitable investments and a wealth plan that will enhance their well-being. So investments, are very simple, very complex, all sorts of choices. And so that wealth advisor needs to have that whole understanding so that they can bring forward what's going to suit that client exceptionally well. But I started to focus on health at the same time because I realized that a lot of women have a disproportionate amount of responsibility for health and wellness in their families.
Yes.
It's like every family has their own nurse practitioner, i.e. the mom. Mm-hmm. And how much knowledge does that person have? Plus, they're extremely busy. So that's when I started to partner with not-for-profit, health-related organizations that focused on women. For example, heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, not breast cancer. Breast cancer has done a better marketing promotion. And so a lot of the research on heart disease has been done on men. And the symptoms for heart disease between men and women is quite different. So when I brought my clients and their friends to a session on heart disease, by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Now they've got new awareness. Now they've got new contacts. And now they've got somebody to go to if they have questions about heart disease. And so went on to do all sorts of different things with just about every health-related organization you can think of. And of course, these organizations want to get their messages out. So it was a perfect opportunity. Mm-hmm. So, and both of those scenarios, as I've been doing a lot of these podcasts, the one thing that has been a common theme is for each of those, health and wealth, you need to be working with a trusted advisor. You need to work with someone who has all the credentials and experience, but more importantly, is somebody who has your back, somebody who cares about your well-being. And of course, then people say, well, how do I find a trusted advisor? Well, it's your life. You want to be healthy. You want to have enough money to do all the things that you want to do, including possibly leaving a legacy. And so you ask your friends and family, who are they working with that they feel is a really, really good person, and you get a referral. If you don't have any of those opportunities, I'm a certified financial planner, which is a global designation. You can do CFP near me, and you interview people, understanding their credentials, their experiences, but asking them how they can serve you well.
So let's dig a little bit. But first, I want to pay a little brief homage to your mom being in this. I mean, she was a bit of a renegade in early on, knowing that women needed to kind of be more assertive with their financial health and well-being.
Exactly. She... the first order of business in her day was women need to have their own bank account. Because often it's Mr. whose bank account is there, and then Mr. would give Mrs. an allowance. Even a joint account was not prevalent at the time. And so she really felt quite strongly every woman needs to have their own bank account. So that becomes the base of everything that you're going to do going forward. If you've put that stake in the ground with having your own bank account, now you've got your own banking relationship, and banking people will often approach you with all their services that they offer. So it just begins a whole new relationship of you with money.
Bringing you Health Raisers is possible because of these incredible sponsors. Feeling the need for a little pampering? Do you want an escape from the hustle and bustle of daily life? Mac Salon and Day Spa is your destination for relaxation and rejuvenation in Southwest Michigan. Get ready for a retreat in the woods. Mac offers comprehensive services tailored to your needs, including massage, facials, nails, waxing, and hair treatments, ensuring you feel refreshed and beautiful. Whether you're preparing for a special occasion or simply treating yourself, the experts at MAC are committed to helping you look and feel your best. Their commitment to wellness isn't just about beauty. It's about balance, confidence, and feeling amazing in your skin. Visit them today and discover why they're Southwest Michigan's premier choice for all your beauty needs. Looking for some time away from the chaos of everyday life? Step into the beauty of Fernwood Botanical Garden, where nature, peace, and renewal come together. Nestled along the scenic St. Joseph River Valley, in between Niles and Buchanan, Fernwood's 105 acres of lush gardens, quiet trails, and serene woodlands offer a sanctuary for replenishing your soul. Wander through vibrant landscapes, listen to the melodies of birds, and connect with nature at your own pace. Indoors, you'll find an inspiring art gallery, a lush fern conservatory, and a welcoming cafe, perfect for reflection and relaxation. At Fernwood, there's always something to discover, from engaging classes and special events to charming, verdant venues for your own gatherings. It's more than a destination, it's a feeling, a place to breathe, learn, and grow. Plan your visit today. Explore, discover, connect.
In the mood for coffee, tea, yummy pastries, or cool swag? My friends at Infusco have got you covered. Infusco Coffee Roasters is a cozy neighborhood coffee joint in Sawyer and St. Joseph, Michigan. Infusco stands for a healthy community. They craft irresistible seasonal drinks, sourcing local artisans' products. The flavors shine from quality ingredients, and their beans are roasted on site. They do not hide behind tons of sugar. Every time I go, I'm greeted by my name with a smile. Bad service is just non-existent. It feels like stepping into a friend's living room. They keep it personal. Old school, eclectic coffee mugs on the wall, fun merch, including stickers designed by artists, t-shirts, and sweatshirts. It's the perfect place to get to know your neighbors and chat with tourists. You will always find people deep in conversation. Special events keep it fresh. Community. Health, the heart of Sawyer. That's Infusco. I hope to meet you there.
In your work, you've undoubtedly seen how women, their money stories connect to their sense of worth. What patterns do you notice when women say like they don't feel like they're enough? And how does that affect their financial health?
Well, again, when I did these different events with not-for-profit health-related organizations, I would often charge $25 or $50, whatever, and that then becomes a charitable donation. So it enhances your net worth when you have that deduction coming from your income tax return. But the other thing that it does is it enhances your self-worth. Because if you're in a position to give, to share, you feel better about yourself. You have that ability to give back rather than standing in line waiting for somebody to support you.
But what if you have a scarcity mindset versus a growth mindset? How can you enjoy your life without counting down to the penny against a ticking clock, say, You
need to have a conversation with yourself. Because your number one asset is you. And as long as you can think things through very, very carefully, regardless of how little you have, you will come up with options and ideas that will help you go forward with confidence. And more often than not, it's one step at a time. If you don't have enough money, then maybe what I should do is get a part-time job in addition to the job that I currently have. Now, of course, that could be way too much. On the other hand, it could be something. Maybe it's a Saturday or a Saturday afternoon with a few more dollars. But you really kind of need to step back and have a conversation with yourself and say, okay, what other options are here for me to add to my bottom line?
Why do you think that despite being successful financially, women may still choose to defer their financial decisions to their partners? What do you think is really happening there?
Just a level of confidence. Just a level of confidence of not owning themselves, expecting someone else to help them out. You really need to own your own reality. Because as long as you are alive and well and vertical and smiling, the best thing you've got going for you is all of that. And so when you own your life, you own your health and you own your wealth.
So when you are working with a woman who's been financially passive, what is your first step usually in getting her to become a little bit more proactive? What is the simplest thing?
Well, you can't go too far too fast because it gets really, really scary. Really scary.
Sure.
I did a lot of events to help women understand how it all comes together. And when I invited women to come to these events, I would invite them to bring their friends. Because sometimes women learn in groups. Like, no woman wants to admit that she doesn't know things that she thinks other people expect she should know. She really doesn't want to expose her lack of knowledge. And so you make it a comfortable scenario where people can come and learn and bring your friends so that you've got some reinforcing opportunities after the event.
What about shifting to more modern day where women are choosing to remain single longer? Are their financial stories different? Are you finding that to be true? And how would you advise the younger generation to think about money?
Well, again, it depends on how much money you have, and it depends on what you want your money to do for you. But again, I would highly recommend that you're not trying to do it yourself, that you seek out that trusted advisor with whom you can work. We're finding that a lot of individual women who don't have children end up being often the most significant philanthropists because they've done a great job of saving and investing. More often than not, they may be teachers or professors or those in a career where they have a pension fund. So if you have a good income and you have an excellent pension fund, now you probably have more wealth than you're consuming for yourself. So at the end of the day, what are you going to do with all that wealth? And that's what I mean. It often is those women in particular who are the best philanthropists.
Beautiful. Your company name explicitly links worth and wellness. Can you give us an example of how enhanced financial confidence changes the way a woman approaches her health decisions?
Well, if you have a high level of confidence in who you are and what you're doing and where you're going, and not being blatant or rude or disrespectful, you just have that quiet confidence that you feel like you've got your affairs in order. And that certainly is an enhancement to your overall self-worth, but it also enhances your sense of well-being because you're really driving the bus in terms of your own life into the future.
Okay, so let's go back to that philanthropy piece. There's a website where I read, and I will link this in the show notes. It's specifically about philanthropy and legacy, and I'll just read the quote here. Women give more as a percentage of assets. Single women are more likely to give than single men. They give more and to more causes. Married women socialize their spouses into giving, and women give more broadly than men. Women spread their giving. So what else have you noticed? You're nodding, so that resonates. But where do we need more work maybe for men or for women to make financial decisions? And where have we made progress?
I think what more women might think about doing, I'm not saying should, because women are quite different from men and women's philanthropy is quite different from men's. But women's philanthropy is very quiet. How many hospital wings have you seen named after a woman?
Interesting.
If she gives money, she gives it almost anonymously. Like she doesn't want that public statement. But I think more and more, now we're seeing tremendous role modeling with Melinda French Gates and Mackenzie Scott. Like those women, they don't need to be doing everything they're doing, but they are doing so much and so publicly that it's just amazing. It's just really incredible. And apparently, one senior government person in the U.S. said Mackenzie Scott shouldn't be giving all that money away to women's organizations. Like, in other words, who do you think you are? You're just helping women be stronger. She ended up giving twice as much to the one she was already giving to. It's like, well, just watch me. So I guess in answer to your question, I would encourage women to possibly consider being more public with their giving.
In your experience, what drives these financially successful women to invest more resources in their communities versus men? Why do you think that is?
Well, they probably have had experiences where someone has been sidelined, and they're probably quite keen to invest in making sure that that does not happen going forward. For example, in the community where I live, we have an organization called Reaching for Rainbows, and it's for young girls ages 6 to 9. So really, really young girls after school. And these are from families who are potentially at risk. We know about human trafficking, and we know that often young girls, like 10 to 12-year-olds, are the ones that are recruited. So this organization really, really seeks to build their confidence as young women to prepare themselves for things that are not right to the extent you can. But again, it's about confidence. It's about confidence. And in the absence of this after school program, they might not have that level of confidence. You know, they go to school, they blend in with everybody else, they learn what they learn, and they come home to their home, which may not be an ideal spot. And so these after school moments really seek to build their confidence that they feel okay in their own skin.
So I'm hearing role modeling for girls who may not have that opportunity. And I'm also hearing community in that showing these girls how to be in community.
Correct. Good for you. Good listening.
So that's going to enhance overall well-being. So that's social health, enhanced social health, which then kind of trickles into just feeling better about themselves and feeling more confident, and maybe kind of spreading the idea that if I can get this help and I can feel better, then I can also be a role model in the future.
Correct. And also it's just building that level of confidence. Like, I'm okay. Like I did a great drawing as part of that program last Monday. And it's a lot of volunteers that come in to help with this program. You know, they really profiled this drawing it's just about confidence building. It's just a little bit every day that helps you feel better about you.
You mentioned this a little bit earlier. Many women are the CEOs of their family's health, managing everyone's medical appointments, cooking, maintaining a healthy home, and more. So how would a woman who is probably overwhelmed with these roles, how would they balance those roles with being the CEO of their own, taking on something new, being the CEO of their own financial well-being?
I've often said that, one of the favorite phrases is work-life balance. And I always say, what are the priorities? What are the priorities? And every day we've got new priorities, and often during the day those priorities switch. So you can't be frazzled when the priorities switch. You've got to have a good sense of where you're headed and what you want. And when stuff comes at you, then you deal with it. And women have such incredible things coming at them, from every single direction. And often women are their worst enemies because they accept them rather than saying, no, that's not my responsibility. No, I can do that, but it's not my responsibility. And then you give it back to somebody else. You delegate, but then you don't just throw it at them. You help them assume that responsibility. So at every moment, you're kind of taking in what's going on and reprioritizing and sort of rethinking, okay, how else can this be handled? And then directing it accordingly. It's kind of like redirect.
So it's like the money story idea we talked about earlier too, where it's like, if you're telling yourself the story that no one else can do this, I have to do everything, then you are basically self-sabotaging. You're buying into your own narrative versus, I'll give a simple example. So my husband and I have 2 dogs, and they're both very demanding. One is an elder and the other is sort of in his teenage years. Right. So I always assume, and I had to come to this realization that I'm the caregiver and I know better. And also, it's going to make things a little bit easier for my husband since he's so busy with his work. But recently we were on vacation and I felt myself. I needed the break, and I felt myself release and give over. He can do the medication. He can do the walks. He can do the feeding. Everything's going to be okay just because they're not my hands. As long as we've communicated well, this is what the elder needs, this is what the baby needs, then it's okay if he does it his way and not exactly my way. And you know what? I felt better. It's a small thing, but I actually felt better. Like I wasn't so alone and overwhelmed.
It's not a small thing. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. And you're absolutely right. Women do self-sabotage because we want to do it all and we accept doing it all. And then we run ourselves down when you have to just say, stop, wait a minute. I don't have to do all of this stuff. Somebody else can run the vacuum.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it makes space for you to be able to think about these other things like, okay, what does my financial well-being look like?
Correct.
What is your simplest piece of advice then for a woman who wants to start being more financially healthy today?
Well, going back to my earlier point, and that is just own your life. Like own your life. You are the person that needs to own your life. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. If you've got little or lots, find that trusted advisor that you can work with who is a professional, but someone who will serve you well. And you ask those questions like, this is me. This is my scenario. I don't have a lot of money, but I have the potential to add to what I have through proper investments. How can you help me? And really ask specific and direct questions. And if you don't like the answers, then go meet with somebody else. But again, you need to own your life. You need to own your life.
Absolutely. So linking back to what we just talked about, learning to ask for help. Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. And to get the best help. When you ask for help, maybe that person isn't the right person. So you just keep asking until you find the right person. I mean, as the saying goes, you feel like $1 million when you get your affairs in order.
My final question to every guest is, what is your personal definition of what it means to be healthy, Nancy?
What it means to be healthy? Yeah, no, well, you just feel like you're in control. I mean, nobody knows where the truck is that's going to come around the corner and run you down. But in the absence of having the ability to get out of the way of the truck, you feel good about your health scenario right now. And, I've got a great doctor. I've got actually a dry eye scenario. And I wanted him to give me a prescription, just antibiotics, because I had that once before, like 15 years ago. No, he's not going to do that. He said, I'm not going to do it. Okay, well, why not? He said, because you don't need it. You don't need it. This is what you need to do. So you want that kind of direct dialogue where you let that professional direct your well-being. And it applies to both health and wellness. With my Women Worth and Wellness, I'm hoping to come up with a curriculum that says, okay, in order to live to be 100 and live to 100 well, what do you need to do from a health scenario at age 10, 20, 30, 40, blah, blah, blah. And same thing from a wealth standpoint. What do you need to do? Now, obviously, people are going to make their own decisions and choices about what in the world they're going to do. But this is kind of a framework of how you get to that ultimate wellness scenario of being 100.
Nancy, it has been an absolute pleasure. I learned a lot. I feel like your messages are so profound, yet couched in very simple language, but very deep. So I really thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nadine, and kudos to you for good listening.
Wise women, move from last place to first place in your life. Stop using your body as a battlefield. Let's raise health together with a customized health plan just for you. Contact me at npkhealthintegration.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.